Choice FM family, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are viewing this incredible instillment of the documentary show right here on Choice FM. We have an incredible guest on the line joining us via Zoom. He's all over the world. He's time traveling. He's in this time zone, that time zone, but no matter where he is, he always makes sure that he puts on for North Carolina. We've got the mayor of Bull City, the one, the only Mayor Leonardo Williams. How we doing today, Leo?
What's good, man? What's good to you? What's good to the family? What's good to the actual network and everybody out there listening from my hometown area of Rocky Mount all the way to the Bull City?
Yes, indeed. Love to hear the voice. Love to hear the energy. You're a very busy man. Can you tell the people where you are and what you're doing as we speak?
Yeah, man. I'm riding shotgun on the struggle bus right now. I am in Las Vegas. I didn't know the Hunt Institute had nationwide reach, but Governor Hunt, as many of us know affectionately, the education governor created the Hunt Institute, and they have us out here with local elected officials, state and local level around the nation, and we're in Las Vegas. We're looking at how we can improve early learning conditions for our children. As you know, I just launched the Bull City Future Fund to have raise $1 million to directly invest back into the youth of our community. So this is timely. So, but I'm on the struggle bus because my body is on East Coast time, and this time zone is killing me, man.
You're working it, man. Well, we appreciate you. Like I said before we got on air, we thank you for your service and all that you do for us. Congratulations. I don't believe we spoke last time we spoke. You were campaigning to be mayor for
Yeah.
Durham. You've since won, since done your thing, since showing up at the DNC, like on a national level, like out there with Kamala and all them good folks. Tell us about the DNC. How was it venturing to Chicago?
I was actually sitting in a council meeting in Durham when I got the text from the national campaign manager, Julie, and she said, "Hey, let's have a call in the morning." Wow, how did she get my number? We talked, but the vice president actually called me one time as well, and I was like, "How she get my number?" but so they have their ways, and I got the call, and she said, "We just love what you're doing in North Carolina, especially for small businesses, and your story is a testament of what we're looking for. We'd love for you to address the nation." And so when I got to Chicago 2 weeks later, I was excited. I'd never been a delegate before. I'd never gone to a convention. I'd never been a mayor before. So there were so many firsts, and I got there, and man, it was surreal, to see all those people in the room, and just Michelle and Barack and Clinton, it was surreal. Westmore, it was amazing, man. And I got the news after President Biden spoke. The next day, Mayor was so sorry, we're gonna have to cut you from the program. Just come and record your piece. I go up, I record. I'm like, wait a minute. Mm-mm. This feels really good. It's something special happening. And someone came in the room and they said, we want him on stage. We're going to work it out. And so they changed it up. And I said, I'm not going to believe it, but I've never had makeup on my face. They said, you have rehearsal at 12 and you have makeup and hair at 2. And I said, okay, if I'm putting makeup on my face, it's real. So there was, man. And walking out on that stage to see 20,000 people just screaming to the top of their voice, it's an
Yes.
experience I'll never forget. And, just knowing that there were, nearly 100 million people watching just across all platforms, that it was a moment of pride and authority for me because I was putting on for my city and I was putting on for my
Right.
community and my state. North Carolina was well represented.
Yeah, to the
Yeah.
fullest. And we appreciate that, man. Us look good on a national scale. And we love it. We love it. Now, one thing that I've been noticing, I'm sure a lot of our listeners have been as well, is North Carolina's been getting a lot of love throughout this election. Actually, several of the previous election seasons as well. Can you talk to me about the importance of North Carolina being a battleground state and what that means to the upcoming election?
Yeah, well, North Carolina is the epitome of what battleground actually means. We are a red state by leadership. The General Assembly has the Republicans have supermajority, but
Mhm.
there's an overwhelming populace of more Democratic based, more progressive residents in the state. Overwhelming. But for example, Durham has 204,000 registered voters in the last election, but only about 45,000 showed out. So what we have to do is
Crazy.
get our butts to the polls. We have to register to vote, and we have to actually go and vote and know who we're voting for, doing our homework prior to it. So, North Carolina has been going red, for most of the recent, elections in history.
Yeah,
But when
right.
we had Obama, we went blue, you know, and now we have another historical, icon that is running for office, the first, potentially first Black and Indian woman.
Right.
First of all, the first woman to ever be elected as president of this nation. And people in politics like new things, and this is something new, it's something different, and this is what we need.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a breath of different air, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So for those people out there who aren't, I would say, convinced that Kamala is an incredible candidate for the upcoming presidency, could you speak to those who are saying, "Oh, she did this in order to get to the top," or "She hasn't done anything," or "Oh, we're just now big fans of her because now she's a candidate for presidency"? Talk to those people out, the
Yeah. So
naysayers, if you
so
will.
if they're just becoming a fan, I don't care
Mhm.
when you become a fan, as long as you're a fan, right? That's fine. But for the folks that are undecided, I will say first, I do have to like make sure I'm being patient, and I tell other people we have to have grace. We can't expect everyone to be as engaged as you are or as I am.
Right.
But the choice is very, very clear. We often talk about registering to vote. That doesn't reflect people. People don't see themselves in that. We talk about, you need to make sure you register to vote and make sure you're voting for this candidate, but they don't know who the candidate is. And
Right.
I don't expect people to always know who the candidate is, but I do expect people to know their need and know what impacts them within the values and the morals and what the candidate represent. And that's what we have to start looking at. When we always talk about the economy and we think about Wall Street, I own 3 restaurants in Durham with my wife. I have no idea what the Wall Street economy is like. But when you say opportunity economy, wait a minute, that's different. So tell me more.
Right.
And what I saw in that was, wait a minute, you telling me that you're going to create opportunities for me? You mean to tell me that you're going to help me with my business that I already have, help sustain it? Or if I want to say, you know what, I'm tired of doing just the status quo. I want to open my own business, but it's
Right.
too out of reach. But now you have things in place for me to actually open my own business.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, you see me, you value me, you see me worth being taken a chance on. That is an opportunity economy, and there's meat and potatoes with it. There's substance to it. And
Yeah.
that is what speaks to the average person. Just like she said, hey, part of this is we're going to build some housing. Well, what is everybody always talking about? Housing is too expensive. I can't live here. But you know what?
Right.
In order to make the cost of housing go down, you have to have more housing. Nobody, I don't
Right.
care how complicated or complex people want to get with it. It is basic common sense 101. The
Supply.
supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Come
to have
on.
more supply. And to hear a presidential candidate, the vice president of the United States, actually speak to the ground level, everyday common person, the person that is like, okay, so do I pay for my medication, or do I, get some grocery for the family?
Put
Do
gas in the
you know?
car.
Do
Life
I
decisions.
exactly? I can't catch an Uber, so but I only have a quarter tank in the gas. A quarter of a tank of gas. Let
Mm-hmm.
me cut my pills in half because I know I can't get another prescription next week. So they cut the
Crazy.
prescription like instantly. It's $35. Like they are speaking to the everyday person, and you know who the majority of this country is? The everyday person.
Come on.
Now you
Come
have
on.
billionaires saying, "I don't need a tax cut." Like, why are you trying to give me a tax cut? Like that's not
Right.
that's not the everyday person.
Yeah, you're not speaking my language when you're talking that right there.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I want people who are still maybe undecided. A lot of that is based in ignorance. And ignorance is not a bad thing. It just
Right.
simply means you don't know.
You don't know.
But they have to see themselves in this election. They have to start seeing themselves in politics, period. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm on a mission to do. I'm on a mission to make sure that people can see why they are valued at it, why they add value to the whole process.
Right.
Yep.
Indeed. Yes. It all starts with that. Your worth, your value, it determines a lot, especially your perception on how you see the world. Now, thank you very much for those wise words, Mr. Mayor. You touched on several things that are very important that I feel like we need to go ahead and expand on. And that was the Kamala campaign and the administration pushing forward or stressing the importance of small owned businesses. She recently set a goal to launch, I think, 25 million applications to
Yeah.
get new businesses going in the next 4 years. Now, being a business owner with you and a wifey, how can you talk to me about the importance of something like this? Because in my being here on the United States of America, it's the first time I've seen a goal like this. So can you
Yeah,
talk to me about this? Yeah.
absolutely. So let me again. I want to make sure that the situation is speaking to the person rather than just the person speaking to the person. So
Please.
here's the deal. When my wife and I decided to take a crazy idea of opening a restaurant, taking a risk,
Yeah.
and opening this restaurant, everyone told us no. We were denied several times. Banks did not see us as, we were not bringing millions. We were just asking for a couple 100,000 to open it.
What year was this? Pardon the cut you off.
2018.
Come on,
2018.
we got to keep it in mind,
You
folks.
know,
Keep in mind, 2018.
2018. So
Mm-hmm.
we were denied 7 times. So I had to take a risk of, opening our restaurant. I dissolved my state retirement as a former teacher. My wife was killing herself catering hard, and she took every dime she had from catering. And our mom and our parents had to help us out. We finally opened that restaurant with no cushion. Nobody should have to, like, if you have an idea or you want to offer something to your community, it shouldn't be that risky,
Yeah.
And then we went for a whole year, and the next thing you know, we're going into the pandemic. And to
Boom.
see, it's like, okay, this is America, so we're going to be fine. We got this, like, it won't be any instability.
Mm-hmm.
We're good, and we barely survived. Our community helped us survive, right? So then, the government comes up with the PPP loans. Boom, got you. We are going, our bank called us, hey, get over here ASAP. We went in the parking lot that morning. We applied, never heard anything. And then I started seeing like these big brands, national chains getting money. I was like, wait,
Yes.
they don't need it.
Right.
And so when Biden and Harris came into office and they started to revise these policies, they started talking to us. And we were able to get a PPP loan. We were able to start getting resources, the Inflation Reduction Act, the ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act, the CHIPS Act, all of those different policies that were touching major segments of our community and our society. We had the ultimate rebound. So we went from surviving to thriving. And that's just our story. That was our experience. Not only were there millions of others that were going through the same thing, now we actually have policies that are being proposed that are unlike anything we've ever seen before because we've never been spoken to before. Like
right.
This. So now we have, Vice President Harris and Governor Walz. They're just saying, no, we're going to talk to the majority of this country. We're going to talk to the everyday person, and we want to give them opportunities that they naturally deserve. They're supposed to have anyway.
Right.
So that's why they're calling it the Opportunity Scholarship, because you can find yourself in it. This is a Main Street economy that they're working on, and I'm so excited about it. So now, all of that risk that we took to open our business, imagine if we were just now about to open it, and they are going to win, but when they're in office, now we have so much more support on the inception phase of opening our business. So I say to everyone out there, if you're interested in opening a business, go register and vote, and make sure you vote for Kamala and Governor Walz, Vice President Harris, and Governor Walz, so that you can actually get the resources that speak to you.
Yes, loud and clearly too. Because I can imagine if we were to rewind to 2018 and you had something like, let's just take one of these proposals, a $50,000 deduction for your startup expenses. That might have helped, right?
Yeah,
that might have helped, and that's just one of the things that they have on this whole campaign. So,
I'll give you this in closing on that.
Talk to me.
When you invest, when you spend or shop at a local business, 41 cents on the dollar stays local. But when you shop or spend at a chain, only 14 cents on the dollar stays local. So obviously, right there alone, you are making a significant return on investment back into your own streets.
Right.
And one thing that our young brothers know, young Black men, they know how to hustle, right?
Come on.
And in this state, in North Carolina, it costs about $30,000 to incarcerate one single person, whereas it costs about $2,500 to educate one single person at a community college. And when we talk about recidivism, when we talk about reentry, which is a really big segment of our community now, not just Black, but people in general, One thing
Right.
they know how to do is they know how to stand up on their own 2 feet and hustle to make a living so they don't have to go back. We
Amen.
need to make sure they have resources and opportunities to be re-enter back into civil society like they wish, and not have them go back into their old habits to get them back where they were.
Right.
That's just another angle, you know.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you. We need more programs that are there because we'll have the mindset, but you just might not have the resources to go ahead and capitalize on those opportunities. So you find yourself slipping right back into
Right.
darkness. So I
Yeah.
agree 100%. Ladies and gents, for those of you just tuning in, it's me, the DOC, right here on Choice FM with the one, the only mayor of Bull City, man. Such a likable individual. He goes by the name of Leo Williams. We've seen you linking up with Manifest Skate Shop, doing the competition for the X Games. You've been out everywhere, kind of being what we were talking about, which I think is a theme of today, is being a person of the people. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So have just getting into your first years of being the mayor of Durham. Can you talk to me about the changes that you've seen going thus far in the Bull City?
So yeah, first of all, I underestimated the thirst and the hunger, the desire for our
Hmm.
community, just wanting a government that functioned well, that could hear them. They
Yes.
wanted vision, you know, and I basically, when I took the helm, I said, we are going to be an efficient government. We're going to function, and I'm going to make some promises that I know I'm going to keep.
Yes.
One, I'm going to bring resources to this city and this community, this triangle. Two, I'm going to put Durham on the map, the national and international map. And three, I'm going to make sure that we're doing things that make you so proud. And it feels good. They're really simple things, but they were big things that we needed. We really wanted and desired as a community.
Right.
So, since I've been elected, working with Triangle mayors from Raleigh to Morrisville, Cary, Apex, Chapel Hill, who's Chapel Hill's mayor here. She's here in Vegas with me.
Okay.
We've collectively bought about $1.5 billion to the Triangle, and much of that is in Durham when it comes to just transportation investments, when it comes to, just the electric charge stations. We are increasing the number of available jobs that are high paying wages. We are doing it. And Durham went from, out of 30,000 cities and towns in America, Durham went from the number 14th best run city to now the number 6th best run city.
Ooh,
And
let's go.
that's why I say Durham is dope, because we're doing some
Mhm.
dope things. And
Yes.
and those are just some of the resources we bought and things that we can be proud about. I am doing things a little different. Like, the state of the city is always in City Hall with about 100 people show up. No, we did State of the City as an experience. We went into
Mhm.
Carolina Theater, the convention center, and we had well over 1,000 people there. It was a concert. We had the marching band, the jazz band, the senior citizen cheerleaders. Just
Right.
doing things different. Man, Durham is dope, and we got to make sure everybody knows why, and why North Carolina, especially the Triangle, is one of the best places to live in this nation. We are the most educated concentration of people in America, right in the Triangle.
Amen.
So from resources to being proud, and putting Durham on the map. I think speaking in front of 20,000 people and nearly 100 million at the DNC, it felt good to say, hailing from the Tar Heel State, home of Duke University and North Carolina Central University, I
Yes.
am Mayor Leonardo Williams from Durham, North Carolina, the Bull City.
Come on, man. That's one of those Michael Buffer, the intros. You remember them? Yes. Yes, that's classic, bro. Come on now. I love it. We'll be
Yeah,
playing that
man.
for decades to come. Now with that, being that Durham is dope, I come from Ohio, and moving down here, people were so adamant in telling me it's not Raleigh Durham, it's Raleigh and it's Durham.
That's right.
One of the things that hung over Durham was kind of like a dark cloud of historic violence, and it's not the safest place to be. But since I've been here, that's one of my favorite cities. So can you talk to me about the safety when it comes to Durham and Bull City?
Yeah, so it's really easy for someone to talk about a community from outside.
Mm,
So what I tell people, either come to Durham and experience it, or stay where you are.
mm,
The choice is yours, but I am not going to let your assumption dictate the perception of my city.
Come on.
And one thing I needed to do was I needed to make sure that inside of Durham, folks knew that our issues that we're dealing with are not unique to Durham. They are issues that are nationwide. There's an international and national housing crisis. And comparatively, Durham still has lower cost housing than many comparative cities.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, the triangle. But to us, it's still expensive, and that's what matters. It matters that we feel that we can play a part in our community.
Right.
And so that's what I focus on. I don't look at national data and push back on what someone feels. It's not my intent nor my role to tell you how you should feel. But what I can give you is I can counter it with facts and say, look, I know how you feel. I'm with you. I'm there. But here's where we are. Here are the facts. Now, how do we feel the facts to reality? And I think that's my leadership style, and people appreciate that. Yeah, when it comes to crime, you know what, we have shootings and we have crimes, we have break-ins, just like every city and town in America. And it's easy for someone to look at a predominantly Black cultured town to say, oh, the gun violence is bad there. But did you know Raleigh had actually higher per capita homicides than Durham? Mm-hmm. So it really matters how it's being reported in the media. The messenger matters. I answer the phone every time the media calls me, and I let them know, like, hey, we have issues, but these issues are not anomalies. Like, there's something causing it. It's a root cause. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to, do you have stable housing? Do you have a good paying job? Do you have local leadership that see you and value you and invite and embrace you to be a part of making your community better? Right. And that's what I'm trying to do as a mayor. But I understand I can't do it by myself. And that's why I'm so close with the Harris and Walz campaign, because I know if they see North Carolina and value and embrace North Carolina, I'm going to do my part. They do their part. That's how you bring it together. And that's how you bring resources to address root causes. So when she says, look, we're going to build 3 million new houses, come on, somebody, because that's what we need in Durham. Because right. If you don't have a stable home, you're going to get out, you're going to have a survival mindset, and you're going to go and do whatever you got to do that might mean hurt someone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
exactly.
So it's all connected, man. That's why the opportunity economy, people have to see themselves in it. And I'm so glad that she took that approach, because we need housing, we need jobs. And you know what? Some people are just tired of working with somebody else. They want to do their own thing. So it's not overly complicated. Literally, we're going to support, as I said at the DNC stage, risk takers and problem solvers. Because people who are tired of just doing the status quo and they want to start their own business, that is officially the card that they hold. A risk taker and a problem solver.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you are in a world full of entertainment, good and bad, if you go on that entrepreneurial stage. It's fun over here. All right. So I hope for anybody who's about to take that dive and own your own business, now is a great time. And if you want to support, if you want to go ahead and vote for, make your voice heard, if you want some of these ideas that the Harris and Walz campaign are putting forth to actually come to fruition, then it's important that you vote not just down, but also up that ballot. All right. You got to go ahead and see a W on the whole side, because the top of the food chain can't make decisions if the midsection and the lower section aren't on the same page. It's impossible. Exactly. We've seen that with the Obama administration. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mayor Leo, with National Voter Registration Day coming up, can you stress to me the importance of these people getting out there, making sure to register, make sure they got the right form of ID, because there's been a lot of questions coming around that ID thing. So talk to me about the importance, sir.
Go get your ID, period. Just if you don't have an ID, go get one. You should have one anyway. Listen, there are going to be so many distractions. There are going to be so many distractions. Anytime there's a barrier placed in front of you trying to prevent you from having your voice heard, that should motivate you. I mean, my story with my wife of being told 7 times, no, you shouldn't open a restaurant. It's going to be too hard. It's going to be too risky. Every single time we were told no, it was like an injection of motivation and inspiration and fortitude and ambition. Like, let that be the case, So when people say, oh, you can't vote unless you get an ID, well, go get an ID. Well, we're going to close this voting site because we don't see the numbers there. Fine, we'll go to where there is one. You
Mm-hmm.
know, make sure you like. Well, we're going to change these voting registration deadlines. Okay, so what is the deadline? You know, like just people have to be smart enough, and they have to be. You know, you only have to be smart. You can be dumb if you want to, but you do have to be conscious.
Right.
You got to be conscious, and please, for goodness sake, stop following these celebrities that just pop up at election time every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're so quick. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's so quick. Like I've been amazed at how folks are so easily expressing their ignorance. Like you have a big old bank account, and you have a very empty mental account. Like
Right.
stop it. Just stop it. You know, Tyrese, what are you doing? Ice Cube, like, what are you doing? You know, like, well,
Hey.
what has Kamala done? No, well, what has Trump done? You know,
Right.
I will say, he was. Listen, Trump was right. I agree with him. All right, I
Mm-hmm.
agree with Trump
For what?
when he said the economy is always better under Democrats. I agree. That's about the only thing I agree on with him.
That's it. That's
You know,
it. So
so
Jordan,
so when you have that, and you also have this project 2025, like the audacity.
mm,
I'm offended. Actually, I'm offended as a Democrat. I'm offended for Republicans because I'm offended because someone, starting with Trump and his staffers and everyone, they had the audacity to think that even Republicans were not as conscious as or
there we
aware
go.
as what's going
Let's
on.
switch up. Yes. Mm,
Yeah, I'm not going to call people dumb, but I will say it is so easy to just have these political things slip under the radar, So I'm
right.
offended for even the fact that they think that people aren't aware enough, And then I'm also offended that you are going to actually create and publish a document that literally disenfranchises me and my people.
Right in your face, Leo. Right in your face.
Like, come on
Mm,
now. Like, you mean to tell me that as an aspiring entrepreneur or a struggling entrepreneur or somebody who's just working every day to make payroll to put families' meals on tables, you mean
mm,
to tell me I'm supposed to be supportive of you wanting to give billionaires more like relief of pressure? Like, come on, they're not
come
under
on.
pressure. You know,
Right.
talk to the people, man. Talk to the people. So I really hope that folks are aware, folks are really paying attention. You know, because I'm not going to call anybody dumb, but I will say Trump thinks a lot of us are dumb.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely trying to play us for the fool, right?
yeah, and that
Mm,
is offensive. It's offensive to me, and that is why I'm doing everything that I possibly can. Now I know we're talking about Vice President Harris and Governor Walz,
mm.
but I'm with them because they actually see down ballot, literally making a $25 million investment down ballot.
Right.
Come on. We have
Come
judges
on.
in the state that nobody even know about that are running. Carolyn Thompson, Allison Riggs, like we gotta get these judges in. We see now why judges are so important because you
Right.
can literally break the law, do something extremely unethical and some of it illegal.
And
And
just
once you
one.
have to, you just all you have to do is have enough money to get it to the Supreme Court and you flip it around.
Crazy.
Now
Crazy. We've
women now
seen
women
it.
are losing rights over their own bodies. Come on, man.
Right. Right.
Come
Things
on.
that we've gone over all of these things before. It feels like we're just slowly just rotating in the same, it's like a hamster wheel, if you will, man. And I guess that's what you get when you keep on looking back and trying to go back instead of
Yeah.
going forward, which is, I guess, what we're really trying to get to, right?
It's also
With
what you get. It's also what you get when you're not paying attention, when you're not aware, and you don't register to vote. And next thing you know, you're a woman and you don't have control of your own body. You're like, what
Mhm.
happened? And then you have to look
Come
at your
on,
voter registration, and you're like, oh,
come on.
I didn't play my part.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Wise words from a wise man. We got some important dates here in North Carolina, starting with National Voter Registration Day coming up on the 17th of this month. And then you got the deadline for voter registration on October 11th. Early in person voting begins on the 17th. And then we've got absentee ballot request or deadlines for October 29th. And then, of course, D Day or E Day, Election Day, will be on November 5th. Now, we are on the line live with Mayor Leo Williams representing Bull City in full effect and North Carolina as a whole. You hear me? Before we head on up out of here, because you're a very busy man, got a lot of things to do. Any words that you want to leave our listeners and viewers with, sir?
Yeah, one thing we do a lot of is we talk about these issues, but we don't have practical, actionable steps next. So here's
Hmm.
what I'm going to do. This Saturday, September 7th, in the
Okay.
Bull City, we have two precincts that are the lowest turnout precincts in the entire city. And guess where they are? They're on each side of North Carolina Central University, and they are
Come
Black
on.
communities.
Come
So
on, Central.
that's okay. You know what? That's and this is the actionable step that I'm going to take in the Bull
Uh-huh.
City.
Talk
Right
to
now, I
me.
have about 50 people signed up. I am going to knock on every single door this Saturday in those two precincts, and I have 50 people signed up to do it with me. So if you can look at your data in your community, look at the Board of Elections website, look at the precinct data turnout, and
Hmm.
look and see where the lowest turnout is. And I'm going to tell you something a little depressing. Oftentimes, it is in the minority communities.
Yeah.
Get out there, get some people, and go and knock and make sure they have registered to vote. And when you talk to them, not only get them registered if they're not, but let them know what dates to go and vote early.
Yeah.
Vote early.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
don't let the barriers be in the way, man. Just so I'm going to do that, and I charge everyone that's listening, go find out where people don't vote in your community. Go say, hey, what's up with that? I need you to get your butt to the registration poll. Go register and get to the polls and vote.
Yes, our futures depend on it. So make sure
Literally,
that you guys stand up, go ahead and exercise your right to vote. Churches, get those souls to the polls. Divine Nine, get the strolls to the polls. Everybody, just get them to the polls. Let's
yep.
go. Come on now, let's go. I heard they were the oldest and the coldest, right? That's what
You
they
got
told
that
me.
right. Oh
That's
six,
what they
oh six.
told me.
Speaking
Well,
of oh
lady,
six, we got to get Mo Green in there for education. We have an insurrectionist, Michelle Morrow, that's running for state superintendent on the Republican side. We need Mo Green. You know, we got to get Josh Stein as governor. We got to get Rachel Hunt, who's literally sitting next to me when I was in this session earlier, for lieutenant governor. We got to get Jessica Holmes for auditor. We got to get Susan Martin. We got to get Jeff Jackson for Attorney General. You know, got to get the judges in there. We got to get Braxton Winston for labor. You know, so it just look this time. Look, folks, vote how you want any other time, but this one, just go down. I'm saying this
yes.
as me, as my personal preference. Just
Uh,
vote all the Democrats in. Save our society. Vote the Democrats. You can go back and do whatever later, but please
Yes,
go straight ballot.
yes. This is that epic point in every movie where the time traveler comes back. Like, look, all you gotta do is just vote Democrat. All right, it's gonna change the future. Do it. But no, ladies and gentlemen, in all seriousness, be sure to hit us up at I Love Choice FM on everything. Mayor, if they want to go ahead and contact you or reach out to you or even see what you're up to, how can they do that?
Yeah, so I'm very active. I was just told last night, hey, Mary, you need to stay off social media. For what? I'm not going to run for my people, you know? And there are some knuckleheads that say little crazy things. They just want attention. That's all right.
Mm.
But listen, I'm on X. No folks, oh, don't do X. I'm on X at
Hmm.
Leo from Bull City. I'm on Instagram. Leo from Bull City. I'm sorry. I'm on X. Leo for Durham. On Twitter, Leo for Durham, FOR, and I'm on Instagram, Leo from Bull City, and Facebook, in LinkedIn, Leonardo Williams. But what I would like to charge people to do,
Yes.
and also my email is contact@leonardowilliams.com. But what I would like people to do is go to two websites, bullcityfuturefund.com. I'm investing back directly into the youth and raising $1 million for the youth of Durham. And also durhamisdope.com. Durhamisdope.com is, we're just doing that to just take pride in the city. I'm going to be 100% out there on the grind for Kamala and Governor Wall, Vice President Harris, and Governor Walz. You hear me keep saying Kamala. That
Yeah.
is not to disrespect our Vice President. She is, one of the most accomplished women in our history. But
Amen.
what it is a sense of respect. Actually, I feel like she sees me. I feel like she hears me. I feel like she's one of me. I feel like she's my sister. It's like she cares about my family, my everyday life. So that first name basis, like Kamala, like she sees us.
Cousin Kamala. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Come
So
on now.
so
She
so
called you, bro. Like you talked to her. That's dope.
literally, she called, man. So I just we got to get her in there, her and Governor Walz, all the way down the ticket, so we can restabilize this community, our communities, and just please, folks, do your homework. Do your homework. I'm going to be posting all over my socials about what she's done and what she's doing, especially for small businesses. So
Yes.
everybody, get ready. Your opportunity is coming with the opportunity economy.
Come on now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and paint the future and paint it with greatness. All right, it's the DOC on Choice FM. Mayor Leo Williams representing Bull City, representing North Carolina as a whole. Always a pleasure, my dear friend. Before we get on up out of here on the count of three, we'll do like we always do and say peace to the people. You ready, sir?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
Peace
Peace. It's the
to
DOC
the
on Choice
people.
FM. Y'all keep it locked.